Okay, folks, so this one was a long, drawn-out process. It's one of those times where persistence pays off, or at least sort of paid off, because it wasn't a perfect pick, as it were. This was one that was in the making for many years. Many years ago, let's say probably 4 or 5, I went to a garage sale. And it's a fairly local garage sale. And I asked, hey, do you have any toys, old toys? And the man there said, well, we have all my son's toys. And he's like, what are you looking for? And I started naming off things like, like He-Man and wrestling figures and 1980s, 70s, 60s stuff. And he's like, well, he's got a lot of toys from the 1980s. And I said, great. He said, but they're buried away. We got to move them out eventually because we're going to be doing a renovation or something like that, and they needed the space. And I'm like, well, you know what? Here's my number. Give me a call. And I never heard from them. And then I went back to they had another garage sale, same time next year. I went back, and he's like, oh, we still haven't got around to getting them out. I'm like, okay, well, just in case, here's my number again. They said, yeah, we've got it. We'll call you. And that went on for, as I said, about 4 or 5 times. I missed 1 year, apparently, because this year I went and they said to me, hey, oh, sorry, we sold some of that. I'm like, oh, really? And they were like, yes. And clearly I looked gutted because he said, you know what? We just sold some of the wrestlers, which that hurt a bit. But my son is coming back from Australia, and we'll give him your number. And he's just coming back to clear a lot of this stuff up. So he'll give you a call. And I forgot about it because admittedly I was gutted and I just wanted to put it out of my head. And I didn't think anything was going to come of it. But then one day into the store walks their son, a super nice guy. He says, hey, my dad gave me your number, said you're looking to buy tons of stuff I got to get rid of. So, hopefully something will work out. And I went over and he had lots of great things. So what I'm going to do is just sort of go through it. I haven't had a chance to really organize it or do anything with it as of yet, but it's a lot of toys from, Transformers, He-Man, G.I. Joe, lots of other little guys in there too. There's also, he had a lot of sports and hockey jerseys, which from the 1980s and 90s, which I've got here too, which is kind of show you those. But we'll start off with some of the stuff that I got pretty excited about, which is paperwork. The He-Man Masters of the Universe comics, which are always missing. Transformers paperwork, various things like that. There is a Optimus booklet, Optimus Prime, and who do we got there? Blitzwing, and yeah, just a bunch of them for that stuff, which is pretty great because everybody's always looking for the paperwork. So that stuff was kind of nice to come up with. This is like a 90s. I don't usually deal with 90s toys, but it was sealed and it was there, so I just got it. So that's 90s Daredevil from the, I don't know who did these. Grand Toy Biz? Yeah, Toy Biz. Okay, it's not really my scene. This one I pulled out in particular because when I pulled him out of the box, it's Webster, he was complete. He has his hook, and it even has the little doodad on the end. That's a technical term, doodad. He's got his chest armor and the web thing that you run him through. Now, when I found this, it was so tangled and so wrapped around all of his joints and his waist and his legs and everything. And for some reason, I decided I am not going to give up, and it took me literally over an hour to untangle the damn thing. And but I did it. So there you go. He's all complete. I found his gun in there, which is kind of nice. So that was kind of a good thing. What else we do? Oh, he did keep some wrestling stuff because the guy, I guess, who bought the wrestling figures didn't go diving deep and missed some important stuff like the ring. It's the cage match ring, which is pretty cool to have. That's, pretty nice piece. And then these, which for me are like gold, because I love card backs. I mean, obviously you'd love to have the cards on the you know, stuff on the card, but if not, the card backs are great because they also have with these, just like the GI Joes, they had individual cards you can cut out, and I love having the whole card. And there is, I think there's 25 or 30 of them in here. You know, Ted DiBiase, Kamala, Mr. Fuji. I mean, I'm not going to go through them all, but there are even a couple of the really tougher to find figures. The black card ones, I should have probably pulled those out. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's it. So there's a couple of the black card figures. That's the, I don't know who this would have been. Oh, that's the Hogan one. And he also had the poster. Now, there are, I put them in between here because they were all rolled up. Lots of the different posters, too. Probably about 15 or 20 of them. There's Captain Lou Albano. So just right there, that's just, you know, didn't quite make up for having the wrestlers sold. But, excuse me, that's bad camera work. But it still kind of made up for it a little bit. I didn't feel as bad. Which, you know, because again, the card backs are always a tough thing, and everybody's always looking for them just to display, if nothing else. Let's see what else is in here. Oh yeah, there was another one. That's a 90s Toy Biz, I think, too. Still sealed, hasn't been opened. Spider-Man stuff is always good. This is a Dukes of Hazzard coloring activity book, and it hasn't really been used, from what I can see. There's just some great stuff in there. This was a cool one. I think this is 1970s. Yeah, 1976 right there. It's like a Spider-Man little mini pinball game. But fantastic graphic. I mean, that just screams cool. I believe this is the He-Man belt. Somewhere I have a He-Man sword. And so those, I think it's He-Man at least, is it? No, HG Toys Inc. I wonder what that's from then. It probably would have been Mattel. I don't know. I'll have to do some more research on that, but I just grabbed it because it was great. It's a G.I. Joe. There's a Transformers Ultra Magnus. What else is in there? No, I forget the name. I've already got one there. I can't believe I forgot the name. You gotta remember, people, I am 52, so my memory is not that great right now. But yeah, Buzz Off. Remember that? Stinkor. He's in there. I think some of the weapons are in the bottom. Now, one of the other things that he said he did have, but he couldn't find it, so maybe the parents gave it away or donated it, or maybe sold it, was a Castle Grayskull. So there's, you know, lots of Castle Grayskull parts, which is great. You know, they're saleable. They're awesome. Some more Transformers. Here. Rebound racers, and they actually work. You pull that string on the back, and then they go forwards and bump into things, and then they go forwards and bump back. And there's both of them there. Right there. And what else? Oh yeah, an early original Ninja Turtle. He's got some of his weapons on there. I can't tell. I think it's Raphael. Yeah, there you go. Give you a better shot there. I think, is that Whiplash? Yeah, I think that's Whiplash. And oh, what would the name of this toy line? I know you toy guys are screaming at me right now. But they were, I didn't have many of these as a kid. I don't remember any of my friends having them. But they have those holographic things inside, which are pretty cool. So one of those in there is nice. Mechanic. I'm sure the back of his thing's in there. I think that's actually Mechanic's Club, which is kind of nice. There is the He-Man. See a soft head? Yeah, soft head. He's got his chest harness on there. There are various parts and pieces at the bottom here. There's a Skeletor. Pink face one? It's hard to tell, but again, soft head. Full backs on the painted on the legs, not the half backs. Oh man, what was that guy's name? I can't remember. Bet you it's something Claus. This looks like parts from Snake Mountain. Yeah. There's another Stinkor. Missing all his parts. Another Transformer. Looks like he's missing a piece out of the side there. Who is that? I don't know. I'll have to do some research. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to have to research on here. There's Hordak. And he's missing his legs, which are probably down there. There is a gun. I wonder what that's from. Bravestar, maybe? I don't know. That is that Stondar or the other one? I think that's Stondar, but unfortunately he doesn't have his chest piece. Missing a head. That is a G.I. Joe. Some McDonald's Batman toys from the 90s. And here's some parts. Those two are clubs from He-Man, and I think this is for one of the birds, which if you look down inside here, let's take that out. Yeah, there you go. Fortunately, I don't see the stand. What's that guy's name? I can't remember. Yeah, but his tongue still works, which is kind of cool. Tongue lasher, maybe? I don't know. I'm making names up. Oh, that goes, there you go. That's the head for the guy that's missing his head. And I'm sure it still works. Part that I don't know what it goes to. This is kind of the fun for me of doing this too, is just matching all the parts and pieces up. I love doing that, and it's the quickest way to learn. That is one of the MOTU vehicles. Don't know the name of it offhand. There's a He-Man sword. That is probably one of the Snake Mountain ladders, I imagine, just by the colors. Another Transformer. Sadly, he's got a bit of a broken thing up there. It happens. It's not the end of the world. A shield. Could be He-Man. Might be. I don't know. We'll find out. There's the Ultra Magnus, the cab for it. There is an Optimus Prime cab. And if I recall, there is an Optimus in there somewhere. And, oh yeah, it looks like it's all inside there. Which is kind of good. These are the floors for a Castle Grayskull. Trapdoor and everything on there. A Gremlin. Oh yeah, awesome. I love these little robot guys. Like Hootbot and all those. I'll have to check the battery compartment and see if that still goes. Half the time they don't work, which is sad, but it's always cool to have. This is a G.I. Joe canteen. Oh, what were these called? Slime Time? Yeah, they were like watches for kids. Let's see if I can get them to go up there. I don't think I can open it up with one hand. Oh, there you go. All right, cool. Yeah, I can. Yeah, and that's right inside there. Okay. It's a hat of some kind. I am going to say it might be Woody's. I don't know. That's one I'm going to have to look into more. There is the cowl for Cringer, or Battle Cat. He's got the rest of his saddle all there. And yeah, you know what? The cool thing about the cowl is it's got the little piece that is almost always missing, which is great to see. More He-Man. Getting down to the bottom now. It's Transformers, one of the triple changers, I think. A Batman. Another one of the Transformers birds. Sorry, He-Man birds. That's a Transformer. I don't know what that one is. Oh, it's one of the dinosaurs. I don't know if he's all there or not. It looks like it. Don't know what that's from. Getting down to the bottom now. Another Transformer missing a wheel, but still rubber wheels. And that is an Optimus Prime rubber wheels. Looks to be in pretty good shape. Sadly, probably missing the fists, because they're always missing the Transformer part. Oh, Transformers stamp. And then, here, I'll just do a quick scan. Oh, there's Orko. Yeah, you can see all the little various Transformer parts, pieces. You just go through. So I've got to go through those and sort them all out. That, I think, is... I don't know, actually. I was thinking maybe... No, I can't think of it right now, what it would be from. But, yeah, it's there. There's, like I said, there was a ton of stuff. Just the whole tub full. And then he brought out another tub and said, hey, are you interested in any old clothes or jerseys or stuff? And I said, yeah. So this was one of my favorite things in there. It's a 1983 painter's cap, but it's Batman. And it is in great shape, and it has, 1982. It has just one of my favorite graphics. Just a shot of Batman's head with the signal behind him there, overlooking Gotham. And there's the rest of the city around there. And again, doesn't look like it was worn very often at all. Some of the clothing was great. It's a 90s starter, Chicago Bulls windbreaker, in pretty good condition. We've got another, this is a Champion Jordan 90s jersey. So, yeah, not the best camera work here. Here's an Oilers jersey from the 90s. This one is Grant Fuhr, and it's a CCM. You can see the tag back on there, made in Canada. And I got a bunch that are like that. Here's another one. This one is Wisconsin Islanders from the 1980s or 90s. It's Turgeon. It's another Ottawa Senators CCM 90s one. A Washington Capitals, I think this one is like 93. They came out with that jersey. And again, vintage CCM. Tampa Bay Lightning vintage CCM. What else we got on here? Oh, this is a Ray Bork. So it's probably 1980s Boston Ray Bork CCM. A Blackhawks. This is 91 because this has the 91 All-Star Game patch on there. I think it's CCM again. I'm not 100% sure. But this one, if I recall, is Steve Larmer. Yeah, Steve Larmer's on there with the numbers. That's a nice, real nice jersey. And then this was San Jose Sharks in the 90s again. I think this is Pavel Bure's CCM jersey. Yep, Bure. So again, like 91, 92 era there. CCM again. Here's another great one, the St. Louis, and of course it's from the 90s. So who's it going to be? Brett Hull. There you go. Numbers on there and everything. And this was probably one of the nicest ones out of them all. It's a Boston Bruins Heritage Series Generation 1 that was put out by CCM. It's a basically acrylic and wool sweater. They did this series at the beginning of the 90s. They didn't anticipate it doing as well, so they didn't make a lot of these, but these are basically like throwback jerseys. They're called Generation 1, and so this is one of the first Boston Bruins replica of the first Boston Bruins jersey. They did the Toronto St. Pats. They did the New York Americans. They did the Hamilton Tigers team. That one's really sought after. It goes for some crazy money, the Hamilton Tiger ones. But these were all really cool. And again, you know, pretty valuable in itself, but just a great, really cool piece. I have a couple of other little hockey jerseys in here, just to see them. They didn't actually come from this. This one I just loved. I found it at the Goodwill bins a while back, but I just love the graphics on it. It's vintage. It's made by Alpha Sportswear. It's just a Yukon jersey, but the graphic is great, and I just think that's really cool. It's got somebody's name on there, Forrington, but yeah. So that was basically pretty much it from that lot. Pretty good pick. Was it worth waiting 5 years for? I think so. If everything had been there, it would have for sure, because just if all those wrestlers that were represented on the card, that would have been just, tip top. But, you can't win them all, but patience does pay off. And like I said, whenever you're at garage sales, always take the time to ask, hey, do you have any of, whatever it is you collect? If you're into records, I often ask, hey, do you have any vinyl? Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's a lead that goes on, for 4 or 5 years, like this one. Hopefully you don't have to wait that long. But anyways, I just thought I'd share that with all you guys. If you happen to like this content, collectibles of all kinds, records, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, or, tell a friend if they'd be interested too. And I hope you're able to find some stuff going on this weekend. All right, bye.